And welcome back to the Kallang Squash Center, the National Squash Center here in Kallang. With me, Sean C. We are on the finals, now at the final day of the Marigold Men's Masters 1 and 2. We're beginning off with the third and fourth place matches. These are the two semi-finalists. Jeremy in the black, who lost to Victor Khoo. And we've got Simon in the white, who lost to Ken, and that's the final that we'll see later on. With me, really an astute follower of the game, played for many years, Sean C., the national player himself. And Sean, welcome back.
Thank you, Mohit. It's really nice to be back and to actually be here with you in the afternoon of Saturday. I think today we're going to see really nice four games in the third and fourth placing, which is being played now with Jeremy and Simon. Then followed by the Masters 2, I think, which will be no, Masters 1, which will be Frank. Frank and who's his other opponent?
Frank will be playing, so Aiden beat. Good question.
Yeah, because these guys are in our category.
In our category. So we've been watching their matches. Unfortunately, what's happened is, because of the social distancing, we've not been allowed to watch any of the other matches, right? I think.
Oh, Frank lost to Ken. Ken's playing Kokfo in the finals.
And Kokfo beat Tom. So we've got Tom.
Right, we've got Tom.
We've got Tom, exactly. And of course, Tom is the new name, so therefore doesn't roll off your tongue so easily, right? But that should be an interesting game as well, because Tom, extremely skillful, extremely strong, you know, and took on it was a very, very tough game for him, taking Kokfo, who arguably might be the best player right now in the Masters circuit.
That's true.
And, you know, he really punished Tom through those grueling rallies. Tom did very well to stay with him for the longest time. And on the other hand, you've got, he's going to take on an opponent who's going to try and keep him in as many points, as possible. Meanwhile, let's join this match.
Oh, that was a very good pickup from Simon.
And a great flick. So it's 3-all in the first game. And this game, how do you see this game pan out, Sean? Because for me, it's a lot to do with Simon, again, trying to keep Jeremy in as many points as possible. Jeremy known for his super skills and touch.
So, on that note, right, Mohit, I think both Jeremy and Simon, they play on a regular basis. They're both in the same club. They both represent Safra, right? They're also both teammates in the Veterans 1. I think both of them are very comfortable with each of their games. So I think what you're seeing now in the first game is not, actually there's no nerves in their games. If you notice, they're actually playing quite fluid squash. I think that's because they are very comfortable with each other's game. So they're coming out, guns blazing, and they're pushing each other. And you'll notice that the points are very close.
Let me ask a question. Would you know this? In the Vets 1, who plays higher of the two?
Jeremy plays higher of the two.
Jeremy plays higher of the two. So you'd have to give him the advantage here. He is the favorite going into this match.
That's true. But I think watching Simon's form in the past couple of days, Simon has been playing extremely well.
Yeah.
So I think the game's going to be very tight. Jeremy, on the other hand, isn't really bringing his A game throughout the week. But I know Jeremy from the days of when we were picking up squash. So Jeremy's a fighter even if he's not in the A game.
Yeah. And again, with Jeremy, I just think, having played with him a few times as well in a few matches, I just think, when his touch is so solid, it's so good, his court sense is so good. Right. He knows where his opponent is, right? And his ability to hold the ball and move his opponent in the wrong direction, or at least hold and wait a little bit and then stun his opponent almost to the point that his opponent's back on his heels is something that he does very well.
Right. So I think Jeremy, I think you mentioned it a bit. I mean, you spoke about some of the things that he does. And I think as the game goes on, you realize that Jeremy likes to set the point up.
Yeah.
He likes to play a quick 1-2. So you'll notice when he plays, he will set the game up with a boast. Yeah. And if the boast is good enough, he'll come in pretty quickly. And he'll step up and then he'll play a nice drop shot. So you're right, Jeremy has very nice touches in the air. Right. And over the years, actually, he's been known to set that point up on a regular basis. So I also know for a fact that Simon knows that.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the game is going to be quite interesting. So you'll realize, actually Simon starts to lift a bit more, and he'll try to keep the ball as far away from Jeremy as possible. And if he can, I think Simon's going to hold the shot and make Jeremy stop. Right, and try his best to actually push it behind Jeremy. Because Jeremy, he's very strong when the ball's in front.
Yeah.
Nicely played.
I think that's the other thing Simon should look to do. Try and take the ball a bit earlier.
I mean, all of us are aging, right?
Yeah.
So Jeremy
Easier
is not
said
as
than done.
fast as he used to be. So I think if Simon, in this first game, psychologically pushes Jeremy more to the front, like that, but without an outright winner,
Yeah.
and make Jeremy move, I think that's going to be more advantageous to him.
Yep. Okay, a miss hit on the last point. That's a wry smile and apology from Jeremy.
And the string.
Oh, his string's broken. That's what caused it. And that could have really gone anywhere.
Yeah, looks like the stars are aligned for Jeremy. But I think the game was close. So Simon's on court pretty quick. So I think Simon is just still in the midst of warming up. Sorry? Can the broadcast hear? I'm not sure. Can they hear Raymond shouting out the scores? Okay.
Okay, and game 2 is underway.
Oh, that was a very nice volley.
My question to you, Sean, is, there were a couple of times in that rally right in the beginning when I think Possibly Simon had an opportunity to cut the ball off like that time and perhaps push it in and perhaps look for a drop rather than go back to Jeremy. Do you think that's more effective? Rather than wait for Jeremy to do that to him.
I think in that point, I think the construction of the point was pretty good by keeping both players in the back and waiting for the open shot. Actually, Simon gave him the open shot because the cross court was soft, or it came out into the center, right? And that's Jeremy's strength. Generally, if the ball is beyond your pace, you should let it pass. And then it gives you time to actually prepare yourself actually to return a sharper shot, right? So it's a matter of, for me, I think it's a matter of percentage. You know, if a player plays high on his strength and increases the percentage of a success, I think that's the way he should play. So if Simon's volleys are not his strengths versus his drives, right, I think he should continue playing his drives, force Jeremy to the back, and then when the loose shot comes in, you know, keep the pressure going. Jeremy, on the other hand, I think you can see, like you mentioned, right, his strengths are really in his volleys, right? So if Simon slows the ball down in the air, Jeremy's just gonna cut it off.
He's gonna cut it off, yeah. And it's gonna be a hard shot because it's going to be very good. Look at that one, sticking to the wall.
Nicely done. So if you notice, right, Simon chose the right shot because Jeremy was waiting for the cross. So that's Jeremy's 1-2.
Rolling down the neck and down to the back court.
I think that was a very well weighted shot.
It was, and he's got a useful lead again in the second game. He's 5-2 up. That's a lovely shot.
Drop.
That's just it. You know, Sean, my question is that Jeremy's going to do that. Give him an opportunity, and he's going to try and finish it off in front. I just wonder, should you do that to him before he can do it to you? It's almost like pulling the trigger before he does.
You can, but I guess you need to create that opportunity. You know, and to play a drop shot from the back, you mentioned a keyword yesterday, right? You need to be balanced.
Yeah, you need to be balanced.
And the ball has to be in front of you.
Yeah, exactly right. It's got to be in front of you.
So for me, is if Simon really wants to stop Jeremy from doing that, he needs to keep the ball at a higher pace.
Yeah.
And get it past Jeremy as many times as possible.
Again, I think he just on that volley he was a bit too early, and there was no pace on. There was not enough pace on that for him to really get it out to the front wall. So Jeremy in control of this right now, and Simon's got to do something different. Whatever it is, he's got to do something different. Because if he allows Jeremy to keep playing in his comfort zone like this, he's going to find it difficult. Because Jeremy's controlling the ball. He's moving Simon across all four corners right now. Oh, well done. That's just it.
I think while watching the rallies, right, I think Jeremy is actually very comfortable with the pace.
Yep.
So I think if Simon were to change the game, is to actually take the ball earlier, you know, and then do things like that. Oh, unfortunate. I hate those.
None of us like them.
Actually, Simon looked a bit surprised at the call, but I think it was the right call.
I think so too. I think the ball wasn't tight enough.
Yeah, wasn't tight enough. That was a very nice hole. So I think Jeremy is now using experience to actually overcome Simon.
And you know, if you give Jeremy time and you give him time to hold the ball, he's going to keep doing that to you. And he's so dangerous because then he can play his shots. And with that, Jeremy goes 2 games to love up.
So actually what I think Jeremy is doing right in this game is he's actually not giving Simon any opportunity to play his game. I think Simon really, in my opinion, has to rethink whether he wants to use his fitness. I think Simon's much fitter than Jeremy at this point in time. And whether he can use his fitness to actually drag Jeremy in the third.
With a bit more pace, I really think it's got to come down to how much more pace he can exact from this game. I think he's got to put, you know, he's got to strike the ball, I think, a little harder. I think he's got to go a little, you know, faster with his racket swing. I think he's got to do that, I feel. Right now, Jeremy just looks too comfortable on court. You know, he's got to make those movements just a bit uncomfortable.
So if I were actually sitting on the bench with Simon, I would actually tell Simon to strike the ball slightly faster and play it short.
Yeah, correct.
He needs to get Jeremy to lunge and feel the pain in his knees.
Yep, agreed. I agree with you, yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy came into the game with both his knees strapped. And I know at our age, right, if you're playing consecutive every day, even if you have a day of rest, your body's aching.
In fact, sometimes it's even worse because your body's starting to recover and the wear and tear 48 hours later just feels, hey, I didn't feel this bad 4 hours after my match. Why am I feeling this bad now?
I feel you, man. I know that feeling. So I think if Simon goes into the game with a new game plan, and if he tries a few shots to the front and forces Jeremy to lunge down, he just has to be more aware and move up the court.
Sean, you know, on that note, on the note of pain, and I think, you know, we talk about it for the Masters, but I just think it's something that, you know, we played at a time when the information, you know, on stretching and on post-match recovery wasn't as extensive or as much as it is now. And I think if I were to pass on a message to some of our juniors who are playing, you know, their bodies, you might feel that they don't need the stretching and they don't need that kind of post-match recovery, you know, discipline, I should say, whether it's icing or whether it's, you know, rehydrating and whether it's stretching and rolling. You know, I just wish that I had known that then, because I think it would have kept my body in better shape today. And I think it's really important for them to understand that everything that they do now at the age of 16, 17, 18 will pay off dividends when they're older.
No, I think as we get where we are now, right, Mohit, I think we truly understand the value of it.
Yeah.
But when I was younger and I was, you know,
I don't think I ever stretched when I was 18 after a match.
I think our mind was young and we all say we are indestructible. So what's this stretching shit, right? Oops. Oh, sorry, I can't say that on
You can't say that on air. That's your second strike, right?
My second strike. I think my boss is going to scold me after this. But no, I think it's a really, I think the coaches are constantly reminding our younger players these days. And I think it's a real discipline. You know, after you finish your matches, it's going to take another, you know, half an hour to 45 minutes just to wind down.
Yep. The other thing that we've learned over time is the you know, the repetitions in stretching. You know, and that's becomes, you know, something, you know, we've learned, and just stretching once out isn't really enough. It's the repetition in stretching, allowing the elasticity to return, you know, in your tendons, ligaments, your muscles, and that doesn't only aid recovery, but it helps from avoiding injury too. That's a lovely shot from Simon.
Sorry, Moses, I was actually enjoying the rally, and I thought Simon was as what we discussed, he was increasing the pace of the rallies, and the opportunity came, and he did a wonderul trickle boast. Right. So let's see whether he can continue this this strategy of his. There
And
you
that's
go.
just it. That's what he needs to be doing, right? Stay in the rally, push the pace. Because if, like you said, if he can make Jeremy stretch or lunge, Jeremy's out of his comfort zone then.
So let's see whether he can string a few and force Jeremy into a... Oh, that was the right shot to play. Unfortunately, it went down to the tin.
5-3, so much closer in this game. We'll get the stroke.
I agree, the referee, that was a stroke.
There was.
Yeah.
Would
The
you have
ball
gone?
actually scoot-
Would you have gone down the line with that one?
No, I would have gone high.
You would have gone high.
Nicely done by
Nicely
Simon.
done.
So now you can see what I mean by playing the ball short, getting
Yeah.
Jeremy to dig. It has to hurt. But on the same note, Jeremy's doing it to Simon.
Yeah, and you know, and these are cheap points, right? So Jeremy can keep doing those. It's really difficult for an opponent to come back, even from 2 or 3 points down. Holding that one.
I think Simon has to keep his head on his shoulders. He's got to make sure that the ball comes back after the service, right, and keep the ball in. If not, it's going to be a runaway for Jeremy.
And it looks like it's happening right now because he's just 2 points away from winning this first match that we have live for you today. Out of court. (5-9), and can Simon find something here? It really looks like his last opportunity.
Yeah. But sometimes the psychology, when it's you're 2 games down and you're 9-5 down.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's either you got nothing to lose, or your mind starts to become your own enemy.
Oh, that's lovely. What a lovely flick that was.
So I also have a question for you, right? You notice as you watch games, there are, the traditional way of striking a shot where you don't break your wrist.
Yep.
But if you notice with Jeremy and some of the other players, they know how to use the strength of the wrist.
Exactly right.
So sometimes when is the right time for us, we've got kids, right?
Yeah.
When is the right time to tell your kids?
Teach them to break. Well, mine's 10 right now. My elder one's 10, so I've told him I never want to see you break your wrist right now. Maybe when they're a bit older. But you're right, it's extremely effective because, we were talking about him yesterday. Uday Singh does that so well when he's playing the boast from the front court. And it can be a real useful weapon. Ooh.
That was a dicey call. Oh, that was a right shot.
And the unforced error, right shot, but unforced error, and Jeremy wins that 3-0.
When I was playing with Simon, right, a couple of days ago, that shot came in all the time.
Isn't it frustrating when that happens?
No, but I think it's a sign that when he was playing with me, he was more relaxed, and the follow through was there.
I think it has a lot. I think it also has a lot to do with. I think it's and that's really the wonderful thing about squash, right? The difference between playing at 90% of your best and playing at 70% of your best may not seem a lot, but it's the difference between winning and losing more often than not.
That's right.
You could be half a step slow or half a step off on your timing, and you're just not the same player.
Right. No, and I think especially now when the guys have, or the World Squash Federation has changed the scoring system to a sudden, it's a point per rally.
Yeah. I sometimes wondered, did I prefer, I still sometimes when I mistake say 9, or 9-5 or lost 6-9, or, I still sometimes go back to that. I mean, we went from 9, where you could only win on your serve. I mean, some of our juniors won't even know this or remember it.
Right.
And then we went to 15, if you remember, which is the American system of scoring for a while. And then finally we came to 11.
No, actually we went to a 21.
We did go to a 21. I was just trying to recall.
There was a period where we went to 21, then it went to 15, and then it went to 11.
Yeah.
But obviously with every change in the point system, the way you train, your fitness levels are all different. I feel that in the 9-point system, and it was a handout system, we had the luxury of a forgiving point.
Yep.
So we could try. If we won the point, right, for example, you won the point on me, okay, I can take a higher risk shot.
Yep.
Because I've got 1 point to recover.
I also think that in the 9 system, shown the way, because, it's easier for the better player to win 2 in a row. So the better player almost always won, and it was more predictable than I think the 11 system is.
That's right.
And I think that's so. I mean, I know when I was younger, I certainly preferred the 9 system. Right now, I have no doubt in my mind that I prefer the 11 system.
When I was young and Singapore introduced the first handicap system. Singapore introduced the first handicap tournament.
Yeah.
Right, and it was on a 9 system. And the handicap tournaments favor the lower grades.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I was an F grader. We never had a novice category, and I was an F grader. And I made it to the finals and I won. It was because of the 9-point system.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I recall, I had to play all the higher grades when I reached the last 16. And when I was in the semis, I played an A grader. Yeah. And when I was in the finals, I played an A grader. And in the semis and the finals, right, my games were almost 2 hours long.
Wow.
Because they were 9 points, 5 setters. And at F grade, I had no skill. I just had legs.
So, and I think it's somewhere there on YouTube, but I'm trying to think. It was in 2003 or 2004, 2003, I think. He had retired, but still very fit. The Herald Maritime Open Juniors was being played in Bombay in India, and we were the broadcasters for that.
Right.
And Rami Ashur won that as a junior, beating, I forget who it was. It was Jansher Khan's nephew, a Pakistani kid. And Rami won that in the final. It was an under-19 tournament. But as part of the deal, there were 2 exhibition games where Jansher was playing. He was still fit even though he had retired. And the first match that he played was with the India #1 at the time, Ritwik Bhattacharya. And as part of the broadcast deal that I had made, the second exhibition game he played, 1 game, was with me. So I had an opportunity to play with Jansher, just a single game, an exhibition game. It was filmed, so I think it's somewhere on YouTube. I haven't seen it in a while. But I'll tell you something, we played the 9 system then, and it was unbelievable how he kind of strangles you like a python does. It's just 1 centimeter at a time. You're just going deeper and deeper and deeper until you just run out of space.
It must have been an experience for you to play a legend.
Absolute experience, absolute. Just lucky bucket list experience. What can you say?
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
1 in 3 women over the age of 50 will suffer a fracture due to osteoporosis. Bones become weak and brittle due to the loss of bone mass as we age. Sufficient calcium and vitamin D intake will help build strong bones and enhance calcium absorption.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk for your daily calcium and vitamin D needs.
1 in 2 Singaporean adults have borderline high to high blood cholesterol, which may lead to coronary heart disease. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a warning.
The good news is you can lower your blood cholesterol by consuming at least 2 grams of plant sterols daily. Plant sterols block the absorption of bad cholesterol into your bloodstream.
Marigold HL milk contains plant sterols which have been proven to lower blood cholesterol.
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
Working out keeps your body.
Frank Khoo and Tom Bilyard both really distinguished themselves. Tom playing Kokfo in his semi-final, and he lost the first game 10-12 to Kokfo, so that was a really good result. I think Kokfo a little too strong after that. You know,
Right.
the pressure got to Tom. He really pushed Tom. And Frank's game shown, you know, we were watching it together, and you kept saying that he's going to come back at Ken, and he did. And you think he's going to be able to do that this afternoon against Tom?
I think it's I think this game will be quite interesting. You've got a shot maker. For me, Tom was like an underdog in the. I think Tom wasn't known to any of us.
Yep.
Right, and he came in from the bottom of the
Yep,
group.
came in unseeded into this.
You can't hear me? Oh, okay.
He came in unseeded into this.
Unseeded into the group.
Yes.
But watching Tom play, I think he's definitely had training when he was younger. You know, he's like you say, he strikes the ball really clean. My basics, my few thoughts is, I think if I were to give it a call, I think Tom's going to win the game.
So do I, actually. I just think he's got a lot of nice squash shots, you know, and I think he's the kind of person who can capitalize on a loose ball, possibly differently from how Ken would.
Right.
And I think that's going to be telling in this game, because, you know, when you get Frank on his back foot, he picks up the ball and he's back in the rally, even if you return it. But they aren't always the tightest balls. Now, he will surprise Tom a few times, I think, based on what we saw the other day. You know, he can play the ball late as well, and I think he will surprise Tom a few times. But I just think overall, as you said, I think the consistency that Tom showed us when he played Kokfo the other day is something that will be the difference in this game.
I think so. I think you've actually captured it in a very nice way. So I think, again, contrasting styles. Obviously, Frank is not as polished, right? But Frank is a fighter.
Yep.
You know. So I think my only wonder is whether Tom has recovered fully.
Yep.
Right. And if Frank can keep the ball coming back, okay, I think it's going to be. We won't see it in the first game, but maybe as the games progress.
Yeah. You know, and you make a valid point, because even though Frank lost in 5 and Tom lost in 3, it was very clear that Tom got the bigger punishment from his opponent, because Kokfo really made him work. He really tested his core and made him stretch to different, you know, stretch his muscles in ways that I don't think Tom has done in a while.
Neither one of us would have used those muscles in a long time.
Yeah.
So let's see how the first game goes. I think the first game is going to be where, you know, a bit of nerves will come in, and then where actually Frank will try to keep the ball going as long as he can.
All right, so Tom in the red and Frank in the blue. That's the polish you're talking about. Now that's, you know, just he just dropped his racket sharply to the ground as against following through with it forward.
You know, I noticed like Tom, he hits the ball clean, he hits the ball well. You know, I would actually like to see that if he could, you know, keep it a bit tighter, a bit more weighted versus overhitting the shot. Because if he overhits the shot, I think it's going to be quite comfortable for Frank. Because Frank is a mover. Right? He may not have the sweetest shots in town.
Yep.
Right? But he's going to just keep the ball coming back.
And sometimes playing an unorthodox player can be difficult.
So in that rally, I think you can see that Frank is going to try to keep it going and going, but unfortunately he actually played, or his shot selection wasn't so good, and he got punished for it.
Yeah. See, again, there's the unorthodox game that Frank has, and it can be quite disconcerting, right?
Okay, that Tom didn't move for that shot. Okay.
Must be stiff. He's gonna need a few points to warm up, I think.
Nice. That was a nice volley. The game is still pretty tight at 4-3.
I think as the game goes on and we see the lactic acid in Tom's legs start to drain away as he starts to get more warmed up.
Okay, that's the second time he didn't move.
Yeah, and that wasn't what he was doing during the semifinals. He was getting those.
He was getting those.
That's a lovely shot and a very
nice pickup.
Yeah.
That was a stroke.
That was.
Nice.
That's just too loose for someone like Tom. He's just just got too much class to not be able to put that away.
And too much time.
It's amazing how Frank gets those.
Yeah. You know, sometimes when you play squash, right, and you know, you meet a player who is like Frank, who just tanks and keeps the ball coming back over and over and over. You know, Mohit, what goes through your mind if you meet somebody like that?
So you know, it's frustrating because I've played a few I played one player I can think of. I won't mention him right now, but I mean, because he frustrates me. I know I should beat him. I know I should be winning these points, and I'm always struggling. You know, it's very frustrating. You know, because it's a situation where you're trying, you know, where you know you can finish the bowler, but you're just under a little bit more pressure, so you tighten up because you know he's going to get there, and then if he gets there and you're half an inch too short or too high, he's going to punish you. So that's going through your mind all the time, and it's completely a mental game really when you play against a player like that.
Exactly.
If you can just stop, relax, and not rush, that's what I should be doing when I play a player like that.
You know, and I think it's common among any player. You know, whether you are an amateur or you're a professional.
Yeah.
You know, if you got people like you know, in the professional scene like Rodriguez, who keeps the ball coming back over and over again. You know, and the recent PSA, there was a snippet where the rally was, I think, with Farah and Hashim. Hisham. It went more than 3 minutes.
That is
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
you know, but can you see the mental?
the attrition, the grit.
Oh, that was a good pickup from Frank.
And that's the game. First game, 11-7. A pretty good game. A good. You know, a good game.
No, I think Frank came out with a strategy. I think both of them came out with a strategy, and Tom came up on top.
You know, I noticed one thing about Frank's game, Sean, and I'm not sure, you know, where he plays, and he lost 2 points, and I saw him do in this game, and from pretty good positions, and he did a few times the other day as well, where, you know, on his forehand sometimes when he's trying to finish up the ball, rather than bring his racket forward, he cuts down to the ground. And it actually bounces almost like a foot in front of his racket, and then, you know, it's almost like an unforced error, which is just basically a question of correcting technique. And I think if he did just that one thing, from where I'm seeing this, I think he'd be such a, I mean, I think he'd raise his game by 20% from where he is. You know, I noticed that he did that twice in the first game, and he did that a few times day before yesterday. You know, he just cuts down instead of cutting forward.
No, you know, I think for this kind of technique correction, you need to spend a lot of time on
solo work,
and you need somebody to actually give you some guidance.
Yeah.
But when you come for a competition, right, you gotta put on your game face, and you gotta put on your game mind. So I think everything is instinctive. Yeah. Right. But
you're right. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So I think if Frank can just in game number 2 still stick to his game plan, and then just cut down his errors. He's gonna close down the gap. Because frankly, in game number 1, he lost most of the points from his own errors.
Wow.
Well, that shows you the speed of Frank.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't intended exactly there, but it worked.
So I think 2 things for Frank in this game. Number 1, cut down his errors. Number 2, push Tom to the front.
Yeah.
when the ball sits up in the half court or a three-quarter court. Force Tom to lift and then get him to go up and down, you know, because like you mentioned,
Makes
like
so much
Kokfo-
sense, yeah.
Kokfo actually kind of, you know, got his core to work pretty hard in that game. Oh, in that game, Tom was
That
totally
point,
in control.
Yeah.
In that
And he
point,
made
yeah.
Frank really work. Oh, that's
Nice drop
nice.
shot. That was a working game for both of them.
Yeah, it was. Good point. But lovely technique on that drop. High
Yeah.
racket, position, coming down on the ball nicely. Good follow through. You know, we were discussing it the other day. Nice open face of the racket.
Okay, that for me was a tired shot.
Well,
Right.
you are going to get tired playing Frank. You know that.
Yeah. I think if Frank can string maybe 2 to 3 long rallies and really work Tom's legs, I think he's going to benefit from it. On the other side of the coin, if Tom can keep the ball deep and measure it, right, and control the tee like this, okay, he's going to give Frank a really tough time. So let's see who has more grit to actually keep their strategy in check. Nice bows.
And that's just that last lunge. You know, even though Tom controlled most of that point, that last lunge, if he's starting to feel his legs just a little bit, that's going to hurt.
On Frank, definitely. But I think Tom is feeling it as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. I think that last lunge from Tom.
Because the balls keep coming back.
And, you know, Frank finds the ability to get to balls that you don't think he's going to get to. That's wonderful.
That was a wonderful volley.
Extremely unorthodox, completely square, but incredible. Wow.
So I think Tom's starting to feel it.
You think
know,
Frank's getting inside his head a bit?
Just a bit, because I think Tom may be questioning when's the ball not coming back. The second game seems like a tighter affair.
Yep.
Okay, this game is starting to lose some structure. Oh, it's a very unfortunate stroke to Frank.
That is. And the thing is, you know, there were a couple of loose balls out there, and you know, I think definitely Tom's unsure, I think, of whether to go for it or keep the rally going.
Right.
That's a good nick for him, fortunate nick for him. Took his eye off the ball.
I think Tom just gave a bit of an open door for Frank.
Out. I think that's the other thing about Frank that I've noticed. I didn't really see it that day, but I'm seeing it today very clearly, that his ability to suddenly generate pace from the front can be quite disconcerting for an opponent.
Right.
You're absolutely right, Sean. A window at 7-9 that boasts that should have won him the point.
You know, at 7 and 8, right? Those are really critical parts of the game.
It's that's actually a beautiful backhand volley.
And from being 8-6 down to
that's a
game
stroke.
ball, I think Frank was being fair to play the shot.
Yeah, he was. I agree with you.
And I see Frank.
Oof, just out. Just out.
And I see Frank really sticking to his strategy. You know, keeping the balls as tight as they can be, deep. Opening shots, playing them short. Keep Tom moving all the time.
It's a nice shot. Sticking to the wall. It's a stroke. Ooh. That's a stroke in my book. I think he was.
No, I think Frank pivoted enough to actually take the shot.
Yeah, I think so too. But well, you know, these are calls that referees have to take at that moment, and they are subjective. Shot.
Oh!
That's just
That
a class
was a
shot.
very nice volley. It's getting tense.
That's his third game ball.
Now it's 11-10.
Yeah. Ooh, he served
Oh,
out.
he served it out! You know, I used to play with Frank, and I never let that bar from Frank deceive me anymore.
Yeah.
Because he's always got a second win and third win and a fourth win.
Oh, that's well
Nice
played.
drive. And with that drive, Tom actually closed the game.
And Frank will be thinking about that serve that went out at 11-10.
But I think, you know, as we always tell ourselves, move forward.
Move forward, yeah. Easier said than done.
That's true. But I think really Frank's strategy is working, and it's working Tom's legs. So Tom is
I agree, Sean. I don't think this is far from over yet. It's a long way. It'll be a long way from home, I think.
So I think Tom has to rethink his strategy. I think Frank's gonna continue to work Tom and work him into the corners, even if the ball sits up.
Yeah.
I think Frank's confident of at least getting to at least 70 to 80% of them.
Yeah, you're right, and that's all he needs to do right now, because then that gets into his opponent's head, and you know, and then the pressure sits on Tom.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a look at a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with game number 3.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
Welcome back to the third game. Tom is now leading 2 games to love. Oh, that was unfortunate. Actually, Frank was there, and he actually hit the ball back to himself in the rush. That was a very nice shot. You know, like I was talking to Mohit a bit earlier during the break, and I was sharing with him that at this stage of the game, if Frank can string a couple of long rallies, the enemy within the game will now then become Tom and Tom himself. He's got to really keep it on his head, to not rush, right? And be patient and wait for the opportunities so that he can actually finish off the game. That was nicely done by Frank. He actually was forced to stop in his tracks and come back and take that volley.
Well, that's a stroke. The other thing, Sean, that I noticed is, you know, sometimes there's not a lot of pace on the ball when Frank just is sending it back, but it's sticky and it sticks to the wall, you know, it's close to the wall and it's an awkward shot, you know, it's almost very difficult to scoop out.
Right. So in those points, right, or in those kind of shots, you've got to be patient and wait for that 1 centimeter off the
Exactly
wall.
right.
And you've just got to follow the ball.
Because eventually it's going to come off the wall.
That's right. Oh, that was a nice nick.
And
Very
again,
unexpected.
you know, on that, we keep, you know, at least I keep telling my son and the juniors especially, stay on your toes, stay skipping, because eventually your feet will take you to where the ball is, right?
Exactly.
And it's so easy to forget that. But, you know, I really hope some juniors do end up watching this, because there's so much to learn from these masters and how they play, because there's so much experience, so much knowledge.
No, I think when you watch any player, and if you keep your eyes open, there's always something to learn, right? I think the masters, they have a lot more experience, but they just can't keep the ball going, right? But the ideas, you know, their intentions are all very clear.
That's just amazing running, isn't it? Oh, that's a stroke. Let ball there, turning around on off the back wall.
And Frank read that shot. The game's still very close.
5-7, just 2 points in it. Can Frank come back?
Tom's gonna keep it together.
Oh, that's
Nice
lovely.
drop.
Holding it. And then absolutely precision drop. And really 8-5 now. It's Tom's to lose from here.
That's unfortunate, given that he was actually there to hit the shot. I think he changed his mind halfway.
Shot.
You know, to play that shot at this crucial moment, right? That
You
takes a
gotta-
lot of guts.
It does.
Tom cannot give this signal that he's wanting to play cheap shots.
Yeah.
You know?
He wants it to get over early.
Yeah. He needs to send a message to Frank that he's willing to run and play every
Yeah,
shot.
I agree with you. That's a lovely shot. Oh!
And we are now at match ball. This is becoming a very nice rally. Both of them knowing the importance of this point.
And he just stayed in and stayed in and stayed in. And Tom will just be really relieved once he's off this court.
Yeah. And Tom wins it off a trickle boast. And both of them, frankly, Mohit, they gave 100.
They gave 100%. It was just actually a really great game to watch.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a short break here and watch some of the commercials from our sponsor before we
All right.
come back with our two
Finals.
finals. Yeah.
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
1 in 3 women over the age of 50 will suffer a fracture due to osteoporosis. Bones become weak and brittle due to the loss of bone mass as we age. Sufficient calcium and vitamin D intake will help build strong bones and enhance calcium absorption.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk for your daily calcium and vitamin D needs.
1 in 2 Singaporean adults have borderline high to high blood cholesterol, which may lead to coronary heart disease. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a warning.
The good news is you can lower your blood cholesterol by consuming at least 2 grams of plant sterols daily. Plant sterols block the absorption of bad cholesterol into your bloodstream.
Marigold HL milk contains plant sterols which have been proven to lower blood cholesterol. 1 in 2 Singaporean adults have borderline high to high blood cholesterol, which may lead to coronary heart disease. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a warning.
The good news is you can lower your blood cholesterol by consuming at least 2 grams of plant sterols daily. Plant sterols block the absorption of bad cholesterol into your bloodstream.
Marigold HL milk contains plant sterols which have been proven to lower blood cholesterol.
Welcome back to the third game for the day. This is going to be our first finals for the afternoon. We've got the defending champion, or 3-time defending champion, Mr. Victor Khoo on the left. And this year, Aiden did one better, and he made it to the finals. Last year, Aiden also played in the Masters, and he made it to the semi-finals, losing out to Kokfo. You know, both players are actually surprisingly wearing the same color combination. So if you want to differentiate between the two, one has black hair and one has white. I think this game is going to be also another interesting match for the day. On one hand, you've got Victor that's who has many years of experience, not only as a player, but also as a very competitive player. He's been in the scene, in Singapore scene, in the Masters for a very long time. Aiden, not too sure about his background, but he's also a very strong player, relies a lot on his fitness and his speed. So Mohit, as we move into the first finals, the men's on Masters 2, what's going to be your prediction for this game?
Well, I think my prediction is Victor. You know, I think they have met before. If I'm not mistaken, did they meet in the Diamond Asia in March? When?
No,
they didn't. Is it? So
last year, I think in the Diamond Asia Masters, Aiden went into the semi-finals.
He went into the
played
semi
against Kokfo.
Ah, right, and he lost to
And he
Kokfo.
lost,
That's
right.
correct. He lost 3-1 to Kokfo. Look, I just feel that someone like Victor has just has a lot of weaponry in his arsenal. You know, there's a lot that he can do. And I think he'll control most of the rallies. And I think when
I also feel that with the playing time that Victor has and the exposure that he's got, both locally and internationally,
that's right.
I think that there will definitely be a much stronger edge for him to win. So I'm going to say that Victor's going to win like in 3.
Yeah, so I actually feel that, you know, that as effective as Aiden is, as good as Aiden is, I think he's got to find something very special this afternoon. So both in the red, Victor the left-handed player.
Yeah, so when you first came back, right, I also made the same observation. They're both wearing the same outfit. So I went with the hair.
Oh, you went with the hair, okay.
Not with the right hand and left hand. It's pepper and salt, man.
So one of the things we've seen Aiden try to do quickly is just the first 2 points go for winners early. That isn't the game he normally plays, but that's what he's... That's a good
nice
shot. That's a good shot.
No, I think the weapons that Aiden has is number one, he's got speed.
Speed, that's right, and he's got to
He's
utilize it.
actually very fit, and he actually does more than just squash.
Yeah, he's a triathlete, isn't he?
Yeah, I understand he's a triathlete, so I think he's got the basic fitness in play. He's got speed, and if you also watch his game, his forehands are much stronger than his back.
Yeah.
So let's see whether this is enough to trouble Victor.
That's a stroke.
That's what I mean by speed. Aiden has the speed to get there
Yep.
to play the ball really quick.
And he played that very early, took it on the up. What just happened there?
Victor was wondering what's the score. That was a nice counter drop. That shows the experience of Victor actually.
So a correction to the score. Yeah, I was.
The referee's also very excited.
Yeah, I was. That's lovely length.
I don't know if you noticed, Mohit. Victor actually stopped, watched where
Yep.
Aiden was going, and then he played the shot.
Aiden's troubling Victor with some of his. He's playing at a pace that Victor's not entirely comfortable with right now. He's going for early winners. They're coming off right now, and he's just within 1 point. He's 4-5 down.
Nice cross court.
That's the other thing I noticed about Aiden's game. His ability to hit an effective cross court, especially off the backhand side, from a position of the back wall, is very effective. He does that very well, actually.
That's true. And it's very hard to see because he actually breaks his wrist.
You're right. He breaks his wrist and he plays the ball from behind his body. So. Six all in the first game, extremely tight. That's the zone you don't want to put Victor in the mid-court.
No, and I think Aiden is trying to force the pace.
Yeah. One winner and two unforced errors, and Victor inches 2 points away from the first game.
Yeah, he had space to play.
Adjustments we make to the speaker. Victor making a point that noise or no noise, the ball was just too tight to the wall. That's a lovely shot.
Yeah, and it also shows you Victor's experience in not rushing for the shot and preparing it well.
This is the second time Victor hasn't read that return of serve, the sharp kill to the front.
Right.
There's the second time in this game he hadn't read it. He wins the first game.
That was a very fast first game.
It was.
Really quick. Both of them came out with all their guns blazing. You know, and I think in the first game, it went to Victor mainly because Aiden was making all the unforced errors.
Yep, it was. There were a lot of unforced errors in the first game.
I think.
But having
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sean. But having said that, just watching Victor through the week, this is the first time I felt he's at times just felt out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I think Aiden is using the strategy of pace, and seeing whether he's able to outpace.
Rule of squash is play on, you're right. The only time you don't is if it's too slippery on court and the players can't, you know, and it's a safety issue, but otherwise you play on.
You know, both players still look very fresh going into the second game. I think the first game was a bit quick.
You're very quick.
Yeah. At some points of the game, it was a bit scrappy, right? But I think Victor still has the upper hand in terms of the control of the game. He's controlling the tee a bit more. Aiden has found occasions to really, like what you say, disrupt Victor through pace. And let's see whether he can continue to do that with pace.
Ooh, he just flipped his racket over at contact and, you know, takes it to the top of the tin.
You know, I played Victor quite a number of times, so Victor actually is a very quick study of the opponent. And after a while, you'll realize that Victor will cover the shots that put him in trouble. So like for example, Aiden likes to play a lot of forehand boast. You notice now Victor covers the back very quick. Oh, this is a nice rally. Being constructed pretty well by Victor. Just keeping the ball straight. Oh, that was very unfortunate. He was there.
But tremendous grit from
Aiden,
Aiden. He stayed in that rally, you know. Victor's just wonderful to watch the way he crafts a point, Sean. You know, there's so much thought that goes into so much squash. Victor's calling the carry. Victor appealing for Aiden's ball having been carried, but
no, I think Victor was questioning the referee's decision because he felt that Aiden was in the path of the ball. But that for me was a simple let.
It was a let, yeah.
Very well played by Victor. He didn't overhit the shot. He just made sure that the ball ran past Aiden.
It's another
Nicely
boast
done.
he's won the point off.
Nice pick up.
Ooh. He got there in time. He just couldn't control it.
Yeah. No, I just felt Victor was more in control of that rally, even though the pace was pretty high. Right.
And a very useful lead now, 4 points.
I think in this game, the second game, you can actually really see the physicality of Aiden. He's a
Yeah.
really strong person, right? He's able to turn and twist, given all the fact that actually Victor is actually pushing the ball and delaying the shots quite a lot.
That's a nice shot.
Nicely constructed there by Victor, finishing it with a nice volley. That rally can really hurt somebody.
Yep. (4-9). All 4 points have come off that boast here.
Almost.
That's well played.
Five game balls to Victor. Oh, and Aiden put it into the tin.
So Victor leads 2-11. You know, we were discussing before the game started, Sean, it's pretty much what's going on. The rallies are good, some of them are long, but when Victor gets a short ball, he starts to dominate the point. He just has too much experience and knows what he needs to do with that
Exactly.
ball. You know, it's good, solid squash. You know?
And I think both of them are pretty fit, because you can see from game 1 and game 2,
Yep.
the pace hasn't really changed. It's still quite fast and furious. And I think Victor, with his experience, right, is choosing the right shots.
Yep.
And to reset the point when he's under pressure. You know, something that all of us can learn.
Yep.
Right. Aiden is really going for pace and his shots. And when, you know, Victor's under a lot of pressure, he lifts.
Yep. And he just resets that point.
Yeah.
Just make sure that it's high, slow, goes back to the court, and he gets enough time to just
Yep.
get back to the tee.
Exactly. But that being said, I think Aiden has been putting in, to me, it's 110%
Yep.
to get to every ball, right? And because of his speed, I think he's able to actually play some of the shots that actually trouble Victor.
Yep.
Right? And if I think Aiden can continue to do that, right, and maybe introduce a bit more of a delay in the shot, I think it's going to give Victor a bit more trouble.
And actually, compared to even his game in the semi-final, I think Aiden's playing better today than he was that day. I think some of his shots are crisper.
Right.
I think they're
Right.
Tighter, and he's in fact I think he's controlling the ball when he's under pressure much better than he was in the semi-finals. So I think we're seeing him at his best right now.
Sometimes when we watch some players, when they are in a competitive environment, they are able to raise their game. So maybe this is one of those instances with Aiden. Leading up to the Masters, right, I've been playing with Victor for a couple of weeks. So I know for a fact playing with Victor is not easy. And, you need to be on your A game if you're going to play with Victor. That was very nice by Aiden. He was just able to get the ball past Victor, and this actually should be the aim of actually every player, any amateur or what, right? Just get the ball past your opponent. Oh,
he's hold a little bit more, and maybe they were close enough for interference. That's sending him the wrong way this time. Victor goes 2-1 up. I think the other thing that Aiden's doing is he's just forcing Victor to react perhaps just a bit earlier than Victor normally likes doing, That's well, this one,
Victor's experience, right? That was also a very tough rally, Mohit.
Very tough rally. This is that's just so well played.
No, but it just shows you the wonderful thing about using height.
Yeah.
This court in court 1 or the center court has so much height.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we
true.
don't use it enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that was unforced.
And no need to be, because there was no pressure on him on that shot,
Yeah. It was an alley game, and you just had to keep it going.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Beautiful touch.
Nice recovery there from Aiden. He was doing diagonals.
He really was. Victor wants the minimal. Victor wants the stroke.
Oh, nice drop off the serve. That was nice and tight.
7-4. Out of court. 5-8, and this might just be Aiden's last opportunity.
Yeah. So let's see whether he can keep his head together, keep the rallies going. His strength, his forehand. So actually, if Aiden had watched and observed the rallies, right? Oh, he served it out at a crucial point. If he had played Victor's backhand more often,
Yeah.
he may have gotten a few more points.
It's a stroke.
It's a stroke.
That's a stroke, yeah, any day. Ooh, that's too high.
That is giving Victor too much time.
Just too much. And with that, Victor wins
closes
this.
out the game.
Yeah.
I think Aiden played very well.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well. Really good game.
Against a veteran, actually.
Yep.
I mean, Aiden must be beating himself up, but I think he really played very well. Because I think not many people can actually trouble Victor that much.
You're right. Let's come back in just a moment with our last final. And that will be Kokfo versus Hooi.
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
1 in 3 women over the age of 50 will suffer a fracture due to osteoporosis. Bones become weak and brittle due to the loss of bone mass as we age. Sufficient calcium and vitamin D intake will help build strong bones and enhance calcium absorption.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk for your daily calcium and vitamin D needs.
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
One in 3 women over the age of 50 will suffer a fracture due to osteoporosis. Bones become weak and brittle due to the loss of bone mass as we age. Sufficient calcium and vitamin D intake will help build strong bones and enhance calcium absorption.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk for your daily calcium and vitamin D needs.
1 in 2 Singaporean adults have borderline high to high blood cholesterol, which may lead to coronary heart disease. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a warning.
The good news is you can lower your blood cholesterol by consuming at least 2 grams of plant sterols daily. Plant sterols block the absorption of bad cholesterol into your bloodstream.
Marigold HL milk contains plant sterols which have been proven to lower blood cholesterol.
All right, and we are back with the last of our 4 matches live today here from the National Squash Center in Kelang. With me again, Sean C. And Sean, we got the number 1 seed playing the number 2 seed. But the number 1 seed, Kokfo, is the overwhelming favorite out here. What does Ken have to do to dispel that notion?
I think if Ken really wants to trouble Kokfo a lot, he's got to play it to the front. Take his chances, play it deep. When there's a half a chance, he's got to play a high percentage front court. Kokfo is very steady. I mean, Kokfo is a low center of gravity kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, so he's not easily deceived or moved around. So you got to hide the shot quite a bit. And Ken has those weapons.
Yep.
You know. And I believe you'll see Ken play some of his hidden cross-court forehand drops, you know, or even from the back.
Those flicks of his.
Yeah. So we've got 2 Malaysians on court actually.
Yep. All right.
But what's your assessment?
Well, I think Kokfo has a lot of weapons, and I think in order for Ken to have a say in this, he's got to find a way to neutralize him now. Kokfo also has deceptive pace. He doesn't look like he's doing a lot, but that ball comes back with a lot of pace. And I think if I were Ken, what I would be looking to do is not do that. I would be looking to keep him deep, making sure that play him at the back. The first ball must come behind that service box. I think that first bounce must come there. I think.
Well, I think you mentioned something very interesting, and I think that point is that Ken must be able to adjust to Kokfo's pace.
Yep.
In order for the ball to come back.
Yeah.
So in the first 2 points, right, you notice the pace of the hitting and the depth of the hitting from Kokfo is actually troubling Ken. And Ken needs to adjust and get into that kind of pace. Oh, that's a wonderful boast when you have a 17-inch tin.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's lovely. Well done.
So that's what I mean. Ken has to settle into that kind of pace, you know, and get behind the ball before the ball can really come back. There's 2 in a row.
That's 2 in a row, and you know he had a winner off that the first time, and then he tried it twice immediately after that, and both times, if you saw, Kokfo was on top of it. Even had those come correct, Kokfo would have been there.
But actually, for me, the last 2 shots, the last 2 balls that he went down to the tin, it was more of a technicality of his swing.
Yep.
So actually Kokfo and Ken play in the same team as I do in the Vets 1.
Oh, okay.
Nice reverse angle.
Lovely width to that one.
You know, if Kokfo can maintain this kind of pace and the kind of durations per rally, I think it's going to be really tough for Ken physically. You know, when we were watching Ken's semi-finals with Frank, you know, his physicality wasn't really there.
Yep.
So even with the day's rest, right, again, you know, age plays a very big
recovery.
part in recovery. Nice shot there by Ken.
He's taken Kokfo by surprise a few times.
Yes.
And that's why it's 7-all, a real tight game in the first one. And he'll want that one back.
Nice.
Sticking to the wall.
Both of them are actually playing very nice squash.
Yeah.
Very structured and very clean. Even in the first game, it's not a scrappy start, and each of them are feeling each other out. For the first time, Ken is taking the lead.
Yep. And at a very important time of the game as well. Oh, that's beautiful.
That was a beautiful cross-court drop.
Completely disguised.
This is one of Kokfo's weapons.
Yeah, he hit it with his body and it's beautifully done. Oh, that's
nice.
Lovely.
So that's what I mean. If Ken really wants to trouble Kokfo, it's in the front part of the court. He's got to hide it and play it. Because Kokfo is just really strong in the back.
Yep. So in fact it was Ken who had the first game point. Kokfo saves it and we're at 10-all. Oh, that's
Nicely
beautiful.
done. It's like feathering the ball into the corner.
Really lovely touch. A hard shot to play, even harder to play at 10-all.
Oh! That's a wonderful counter drop on the post.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's one of Ken's favorite shots.
Yeah. So much cut on that ball, so much slice on it. Just
But these two guys are playing like young men.
yeah, really good squash. All in the first. Ken just breathing slightly heavier right now. Shot.
Finish with
Wonderful
a nice
rally.
yeah.
And both of them they want court service. I don't think Kokfo is going to object.
Absolutely right. I think both of them need an oxygen tank right now.
Yeah. What a rally that was.
This was like maybe us when we were 20s.
Yeah.
Oh! That was a wonderful drop shot.
13-all. Ken choosing
Oh, what a nice drop. These two guys are keeping the ball tight to the side walls, playing the right cross courts, volleying it above their heads.
Really
this is
enjoyable
taking a
game.
toll.
Yeah.
Can you feel the pain?
Absolutely. Get a let. $14 all.
They are really putting the pedal to the floor, trying to see who can go ahead. And we're only in the first game.
Yeah,
Moe.
every second of oxygen counts, doesn't it?
Oh,
that's beautiful.
that was a beautiful drop. Do you think he actually set that up? Because he was actually moving to that shot.
He was, but I wonder.
Or you're just thinking it's instinctive?
Yeah, I just think it's...
Look at the pace these two are going at.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's
Oh!
just beautiful.
A second time in a row! Ken has done that. You see,
That's just beautifully played.
Ken knows the place that troubles Kokfo is the front.
Oh, he'll want that one back.
Ken was trying to do the same thing in the backhand.
It's a strategy that's worked so far.
Oh, nice recovery.
So that
Ooh.
brings an end to the first game, 18-16.
I think that was the longest first game in the four finals.
It certainly was, and a really good game, really high quality as well. Some superb shots, superb squash, thinking squash from both players. Really well played.
Right. And you know, the thing that really surprises me or shocks me is that these two guys in the first game, the pace is just tremendous.
Absolutely tremendous. All right, we'll be back with the second game in 90 seconds.
Losing muscle mass as we age has a profound impact on our quality of life. The bad news is that the gradual loss of muscle mass, or sarcopenia, can affect 1 in 4 Singaporeans above the age of 50. The good news is that you can take steps to slow down this process. Regular resistance exercise and a balanced diet with a good amount of protein will help strengthen and build muscle mass.
Drink 2 glasses of Marigold HL milk daily to get 20 grams of protein.
Working out keeps your body in shape, and proper refueling after a workout can promote muscle repair and growth. It ensures that your muscles get the nutrients they need to recover. It is important to consume the right food or beverage right after a workout, as your body and muscles are most able to maximize recovery in the first 60 to 90 minutes.
2 glasses of HL milk contain the essential supplements and nutrients to replenish your body.
Welcome back to the second game of the 4th finals of this Masters tournament being held in the Kallang Squash Center. With me, we've got Mohit, the very experienced, very enthusiastic squash compatriot, sitting next to me and smiling away. He's totally enjoying this torture.
Too much width on that one, and Ken not able to get his racket to that. I wonder if we'll see this game go by a lot quicker after the trials and tribulations of the first.
I actually think the game is going to be much faster.
Yeah.
Because we in squash, right, we always try to pace ourselves. But I think they've already, in my opinion, they've already used 50% of their tank.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, that was a good pickup from Kokfo.
I think also I wonder with Ken, had he won the first game, would we, the fact that he lost it, will his energy level be a bit lower in the second game compared to what it was in the first game? Had he won it, I think he may have come out with a bit more purpose than we've seen in the first 3 points so far.
Right. You notice in the first 4 or 5 points, right? The rallies have shortened. The construct of the point is a lot more loose, right? And now Ken's really going for the quick wins. So I think Kokfo's typical game, he would extend the rallies for Ken.
Yeah.
He would definitely extend. And while as Ken, given the fact that he's sharp, right, he would try to go for the shots. Right. I don't think Ken has the legs, to go all 5 or all 3 with the typical or what we saw in game number 1. Whereas for Kokfo, if you remember the game with Tom, his first, second, and third were all deep, tight.
You're right, and he got stronger. He looked stronger as the game went on.
So like you said yesterday, I think you said that Kokfo was slowly killing Tom on the court.
Yeah, one cut at a time.
Yeah, one cut at a time, right?
I think he's doing that to Ken now. And he's just run away with the second game.
Yeah. I think Kokfo knows that in the first game, he actually burned Ken's leg out.
And I think psychologically also, if Ken wins the first game, I think we would have seen a very different Ken back on court.
Right. That was a total contrast from game number 1.
Completely. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I think
a lot of damage was already done in the game.
A lot of damage has been done in the first game to Ken, and
So I'm really hoping that Kenneth can regroup after he's actually led or rested actually in game number 2.
Yep.
Right. And come back stronger.
Because I think he's just taken a breather in game number 2. Let's see what happens in game 3.
And I think for Kokfo, he's going to come back with the same game plan in game number 3.
Yep.
Keep the rallies going, keep them deep,
And move Ken.
And move Ken.
Yeah, take the ball early and move Ken. And I think also, But that's the pressure that the first game had, because normally, you know, when you see a player, especially in the Masters, say, all right, look, let me give up the fourth because I'll go into the fifth with a target. Rarely do you see it happen in the second game.
Yeah. You speak from experience, right?
I speak from experience. Number of fourth games, I've just said, you know, forget it. I'm just going to worry about the fifth.
No, but I think Ken has the mental strength to actually come back in third. I played with Ken numerous times, and if he digs deep enough, he can really come back. But I think Ken has to change his strategy in the game and allow his shots to give him more time. In game number 2, right, if you notice, he was playing the same pace as game number 1, and his movements back to the tee were just too slow.
All right, game 3, love all. Kokfo leads 2-0.
So I hope in this game, I really hope for Ken that in this game he uses a bit more height, a bit more depth, and allows him a bit more time to recover to the tee to control it. If you see where he was,
So at least 2 steps behind where he should have been.
yeah.
Shot.
That's what Ken is capable of.
And there's lovely technique as well, you know.
Oh, Ken's guessing. You know, and we always say when you see a player start guessing, they're tired.
Yep. That Boast has really been a good friend to Ken in this match so far.
No, I really think these two players, Ken and Kokfo, they really strike the ball really clean. You know, and if they do get it right, their shots are actually really wonderful to watch. You know, even though the scores are so close, Mohit, I still think Kokfo is dominating and controlling the tee a lot more. You know, and the shots that Ken has won is really outright winners.
Yep.
Versus the fact that he's controlling the tee.
And he slowly, you know, and eventually you'll slowly start inching away when you do that, right? So 4-3 becomes 5-3, and you know, 6-4 could become, or 6-3 could become 7-3. You know, it just slowly start inching away.
That's right. That's right. You know, the idea of controlling the tee versus playing outright winners, right? You know, the probability of winning when you're controlling the tee it's proven to be much higher than playing outright winners.
Or you feel much better as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit like world domination, isn't it, on a squash court?
So I think between the two, even though I know for a fact that Kokfo is also really tired, right? He's actually making a lot more effort to move to the tee faster after every hit. And that allows him that, you know, the opportunity to take the shots like this. See?
And as expected, he's now inched away towards the number 8, which in my mind is always that strike zone in squash. Once you reach 8, you should try and win that game no matter what.
Ooh! You know, at 5-8 with a 3-point gap, it's still quite close. You can't really call it. You know, but with that wonderful boast, it's just making it tougher.
And Ken just is a step slow.
Yeah. See the balls from Ken, though they are pacey, right? They are landing short.
Yeah, they're landing very short. They're landing,
So it actually tells me that Ken is really tired because he's actually not getting down to the ball.
and with that, he's got 5 match balls. And he needs
And the
just
match,
one.
yeah, and the match goes to Ken. So the first game really did damage.
Yeah, it
Mohit,
did. It took
really
the
did
sting
damage.
out of Ken's game, and,
Yeah.
and that was it. Kokfo wins, and really extremely strong performance from him during this entire tournament. Well done to everybody. I think we've had a wonderful tournament, Sean. I hope you've had a lot of fun as well.
I do. You know, whenever I come back to the Masters, right, I always have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, I reached the finals once, and every other Masters I've lost in the first round,
Wow. Okay.
right? Because there are more players now,
Coming through. Yeah.
and I think that's the whole purpose. I think for me at this stage, I'm still competitive, but I think fun has taken priority.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. I think though we don't have the crowd, which would have made it more fun. I think the environment of the players, the organization of the tournament, you know, the usage of technology to allow our viewers to actually see the games from home with the measures. I think it's a good option, you know. And I actually want to say that a lot more of us should come out and play.
I agree with you. You know, I
Right.
mean, it is World Squash Day. We haven't spoken about it at all so far. But before we go off air, a quick word. You know, it is World Squash Day. You know, Singapore Squash runs a campaign on 10 reasons why someone should take up or play squash. I can think of many, many more. But you know, I think one of the most important reasons that we've seen during this tournament is that squash develops bonds. I think like very few sports do, because when we're on court, we actually know what it's like. It's, you know, it's grueling. It's almost like no other sport.
Right. No, I tend to agree with you. I think squash is one of those sports where at any age, whether you're a young teenager or starting off in squash, at any age, you will, in one game, you will realize that you need strength, speed, and agility.
Absolutely, and there's so much respect because we know what it's like to be on court and go through what these two players have just gone through, and you know, there's so much respect for anybody who does that. You know, it's
Exactly.
a game of tremendous heart, grit, determination. With that, Sean, let's wish everybody a happy World Squash Day and sign off. Thank
Happy
you.
World Squash Day.
Yeah.
And everybody stay safe.
Yep.
You know, the PM announced something in 12 o'clock. So let's hope the economy opens up. There was a good news that we can travel a bit more.
Yep.
And we hope that things can open up and we can organize more tournaments for the community.
We look forward to being back. Thank you everyone for joining us, and till the next tournament. See you soon.
See you
Goodbye.
soon. Bye-bye.